сержанты и старшины, мичманы и прапорщики, товарищи офицеры, генералы и адмиралы, бойцы и командиры, участники специальной военной операции. Поздравляю вас с праздником, с Днем Победы!
This is my first video update from Nicosia, Cyprus on this Tuesday morning, May 9th, Victory Day, s praznikom Dan Babedi. Let's talk about some news, and let's talk about the UK Telegraph coming out with an article the other day where they talk about Russia's use of glide bombs. And according to the Telegraph, Russia's use of these new weapons, these glide bombs, is causing serious problems for the Ukraine military. And the Telegraph, they interviewed a Ukrainian Air Force spokesman who said that Russia's use of these glide bombs has intensified over the past month, and that these glide bombs cause a serious threat to the Ukraine military. But this Air Force spokesman, he said that the way to counter Russia's use of these glide bombs is to provide the Ukraine Air Force with F-16s. Actually, this Air Force spokesman, he said that just a couple of F-16s provided by the U.S. and its allies would be enough to deter Russia from using these glide bombs. He argued that once the Russian Air Force saw a couple of F-16s in the skies, they would be scared off and would not dare to use the glide bombs because of the F-16s in the skies over Ukraine. The Ukrainian Air Force spokesman also said that the fact that Russia is using glide bombs absolutely means that Russia has now run out of cruise missiles. So there's hey buddy. So there's a bright spot to the dark clouds of the Russians' use of these glide bombs, and that bright spot is that this absolutely means that Russia is running out of cruise missiles. So the silver lining to the dark clouds is what the Ukrainian Air Force official is noting here. CNN, they ran an article the other day, and the CNN article has the title, "Russia is sending museum pieces into war, but experts say they may still be effective." And this article was published on, May 8th, 2023. I've seen this article before. This article was published like 6 months ago. I swear this article was published 6 months ago with pretty much the same exact title, which is Russia is sending museum pieces to Ukraine. I mean, I think that was the same exact article. CNN and the collective West media, they've run out of propaganda, and they're just kind of rehashing the propaganda that they were publishing 6 months ago. They're just kind of republishing it now. Maybe this has to do with the script writers strike in Hollywood. Maybe they don't have the script writers anymore to come up with with the stories that they need in this conflict. So they're just kind of taking older stories and republishing them, repackaging and republishing, because here we are now, about a year and 4 months into this conflict, and we've come full circle back to talking about how Russia is running out of weapons, whether it's cruise missiles or whether Russia's out of weapons. They now have to take tanks out of museums and send them to the front lines. We've come back to this this narrative again. Russia is out of weapons. This may actually be like the third or fourth time we've gone through this story about Russia running out of weapons. Every 2-3 months, it seems like the collective West has to publish the story of Russia running out of weapons. Maybe they think that if they talk about it enough, it'll just come true. It'll magically come true. I guess that's their thinking. Kind of like the shooting down of the hypersonic missile, shooting down the Kinzhal missile the other day, which, according to the collective West media, they claimed that Patriot missiles shot down a Kinzhal missile in Ukraine, and this is like a first to have the Patriot system actually shoot down a Kinzhal. And for proof, they showed photographs of like the missiles, like Conehead, and they said this is proof that the Patriot system brought down this Kinzhal. But the interesting part about this story is that just 2 days ago, when the collective West reported on the Patriot system shooting down the Kinzhal, the Ukraine Air Force, they came out with a statement to collective West media, and they said that this is fake news. They said that the Patriot systems did not shoot down a Kinzhal missile. They actually went to collective West media outlets, Ukraine Air Force officials, and they told those media outlets this is not true. The Patriot systems did not shoot down the Kinzhal missile. But we get yesterday via CNN. Keep in mind, this is after the Ukraine Air Force has come out and said they did not shoot down the missile. The Patriot system did not shoot down the missile. We get CNN coming out and saying that the Pentagon has confirmed that Ukraine intercepted a Russian hypersonic missile using the Patriot system. And CNN, citing sources within the Pentagon, they say that this case was the first real confirmation of the ability of the Patriot system to stop hypersonic missiles. Previously, it was only a theoretical possibility, but now it is a reality. The CNN source also claims that the Pentagon praised this event as an important achievement. So you see, if you wish it, if you talk about it enough, then the theoretical becomes true, it becomes reality. So if the collective West media continues to talk about Russia running out of weapons, then just maybe magically it will become true. Just like the shooting down of this hypersonic missile. I hear a frog somewhere here. Can you guys hear it? There's a frog somewhere. So yeah, that's the lesson that we all should take away from the Kinzhal Patriot missile shooting down story. The theoretical can become reality, and eventually Russia will run out of missiles. At least that's the That's the plan. That's the hope. And it is indeed the hope strategy, very much like the EU's sanctions policy. So yesterday I talked about how the EU is coming out with an 11th sanctions package. And in this sanctions package, the EU is going to go after 7 Chinese companies, as well as a couple of Arab companies, and I actually believe a couple of companies from Armenia. And the EU is claiming that these companies were circumventing previous EU sanctions against Russia, and they were helping to fund Putin's war machine because they were buying EU products and then they were selling them to Russia. And these EU products were being used by the Putin government to continue the war in Ukraine. And so now the EU, they are going to close these sanctions loopholes. And the Chinese, well, they're not happy about these accusations. There are reports claiming that China will take action against the European Union if they go ahead with these sanctions against these 7 Chinese companies. China threatens the EU with countermeasures over possible sanctions against its companies. Not looking good for the European Union, but the European Union, they are in a kind of weird phase where they're willing to destroy their own EU economy if it means that they can somehow destroy Russia. And none of this is working because just yesterday, I believe, the World Bank came out with some statistics and data, and Russia is now a top 10 global economy. It was in the top 10 in 2014, and then it dropped out of the top 10, and it was at like number 11 or 12. And for 2022, if you go by GDP, Russia is now back in as a top 10 economy. And this is for 2022. With all of the sanctions that the US and the EU have placed on Russia, Russia is a top 10 economy. And keep in mind that Russia has one of the lowest debt to GDP levels. Actually, Vladimir Putin, he commented on how low Russia's debt to GDP level is compared to the economies of the collective West. Russia is at like 16.9%. And Putin, in a statement he gave last week, he said that the economies of the collective West, they're pretty much all at 100% plus, with some economies like I believe Japan is at like 224%. So the sanctions, they're not working. But if you impose enough sanctions and you really hope, theory can become reality. Hope can become reality. That is the message of this video today. Hope can become reality. And so the EU, they're going to go after Chinese companies. They're going to go after Arab companies. They're going to go after companies in Armenia. And according to various media reports, I believe Bloomberg was the first to get this news. The EU is going to be banning access to its ports for ships that are trying to circumvent sanctions against Russian oil. Boy, the Greek shipping companies are going to be very upset about this 11th sanctions package. They're going to be very upset. And the EU, they're saying that they're going to only allow oil to come into the European Union that does not circumvent the oil price cap, the oil price ceiling, and everything else is going to be banned from entering the European Union. I guess that means all of the refined oil from India is going to not make it to the European Union. What is that going to do to the economies of EU member states? I wonder what effect that is going to have on the price of oil and on the economies of the European Union. But no need to worry, everybody. There is hope. If you hope enough, it will become reality. And if the EU puts out enough hope, if it puts enough hope out there, then eventually Russia's economy will become tatters. It will become tatters, I tell you. So let's do one more story and we'll get to a clown world. And in my video yesterday, I talked about the Ukrainian Intel chief, Mr. Budanov, and how it looked like this guy was the mastermind behind many of the terrorist activities and the terrorist targeting of journalists and politicians in Russia. And the other day, Mr. Budanov, when he was asked about the murders of Daria Dugina, as well as other journalists, prominent journalists, he said that Ukraine is going to hunt down Russians wherever they are, and it's never going to end. That is what Budanov told Yahoo News. Actually, his quote was, "We've been killing Russians and we will keep killing Russians anywhere on the face of this world until the complete victory of Ukraine," which is, in a way, a de facto admission that it is indeed Budanov and Ukraine that are behind the killings of the Russian journalists and politicians, authors, bloggers, etc. Budanov is just pretty much coming out and admitting this. This is probably where the aliens land. This is my guess. The alien spaceships, they come and they land right here. This is where they park when they come and visit Cyprus. So the Kremlin, they issued a response to Budanov's admission, and Dmitry Peskov, the Kremlin spokesman, he said, "This is a truly heinous statement. What Budanov said is a direct confirmation that the Kiev regime isn't only sponsoring terrorist activity, but is a direct organizer of this activity." And this is the most interesting line from Peskov. He noted that Russia has its own secret services that will be doing everything that they should be doing against the background of such statements. So, if I was Budanov, I would pack my bags and move to Miami and live in one of your many homes that I'm sure he now has, because the Russian secret services, they are going to go after Budanov. I actually think that Russia, let's go see that tree. That's a beautiful tree right there. I actually believe that that Budanov is in more danger than Zelensky. The Russians, they'll want to keep Zelensky around because he serves a purpose and he's very incompetent. But Budanov, after all of these statements and these admissions, I think that he's toast. That's just my sense of things. So if I was Budanov, I would be packing my bags and making my way to Miami or London or wherever he has his homes, his many homes, which I'm sure he has. So let's do a clown world, and we will wrap this video up. And in this clown world, we are going to talk about Ursula von der Crazy's visit to Kiev in order to celebrate Europe Day. It's Europe Day today, everybody. Today, May 9th, is Europe Day. And Zelensky, he announced this yesterday. He made it official that May 9th in Ukraine will now be Europe Day. And Dana Spinett, who's the spokesperson for the European Commission. What a name for a spokesperson, huh? Dana Spinett. Spinett, Dana. She spins the propaganda. She said, "We welcome Ukraine's decision to celebrate 9 May as Europe Day. This is a reflection of the European identity of the Ukrainian people." And so Ursula von der Crazy, she is now in Kiev to celebrate Europe Day. And she even put out a tweet. She's getting off the train. She's really, really happy to see Zelensky, her good friend Zelensky, and to celebrate Europe Day. She said, "Good to be back in Kiev, where the values we hold dear are defended every day. So it is such a fitting place to celebrate the Day of Europe. I welcome President Zelensky's decision to make 9 May Europe Day, also here in Ukraine." And as she was walking from the train station to her motorcade, which is powered by Russian oil and Russian gas, she passed by a few trees and she saw some Ukrainian dissidents taped up around those trees. And she said, these are European values. Crazy clown world. Crazy clown world. They're making up holidays, everybody. They are making up holidays. This has become a Seinfeld episode. Remember the Seinfeld episode with Festivus? Because George's family, they didn't want to celebrate Christmas. And so George's father, he invented Festivus, the holiday of Festivus. Well, that's what we've got here. Happy Festivus, everybody. Happy Europe Day. They're just making up holidays. To everyone in the United States and in Canada that is watching this video, I want to wish you a happy North America Day. And to all of the viewers in Argentina and Brazil and Chile and Paraguay, I wish you a happy South America Day. May you have a joyous and splendid South America Day. Man, oh man. All right, that's the video, everybody. theduran.locals.com. We are on Rockfin, Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, and Telegram. And go to the Duran shop, 10% off. Use the code GOODDAY.